Just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the glue on this side here. Alright, I got it glued. See there? I'm just going to put a little more. Had to break into the other glue bottle, but that's alright. You want to really make sure the top and the bottom, or the small and the big end edges, are tight, because they're gonna have to pull them over the adapter. In this end, you're gonna have to pull it over the hub there. So now it's a waiting game. You gotta wait an hour for the glue to dry, or the sealant, the plastic weld to set. And basically the super glue turns this plastic, rubberized plastic, into goo, and then it fuses. And then when it turns into goo, there's a chemical reaction. It fuses together and it uses up the super glue. So just wait for an hour. I'll be back. All right, while I'm waiting for the boot to dry, what I have to do next, and it's gonna be hard to record in there, is I have to glue this inside the mouth of the small end. So what you want to do is, there's a seam, there's a split here. So what you want to do is, where the splits are on the boots, you want to put this 90 degrees away from the split. So where the split is going to be a lot stronger, because it's going to be held on by this ring here. And then what's going to happen is, this is going to go on the shaft, and this is going to be on the boot, and then you're going to, like that, and then you're going to push this into the boot, and it's going to make a seal around the boot to keep the grease inside the boot. So that's what's going on the shaft when I get this adapter on here. And the way the adapter goes on is that it's in two pieces, and it's a staggered ring. So what you have to do is you have to snap this onto the shaft to where it makes one complete ring, and then it goes into this here. Alright, the boot is dry, it's cured as long as it's supposed to cure, and I'm going to pack the bearing now. So I'm just going to push this back and then come in from the top and pack it and rotate it around. Now this grease, it's kind of a grayish grease, and it's called, well, they call it CVT grease, but in the military we called it molybdenum disulfide, or just Molly B for short. So that's for my friend Medic Mark, who could figure out how to pronounce molybdenum, but it's pronounced molybdenum. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, I'm not worried about getting any on the boot now, because the boot is all cured and glued where it needs to be glued. So I'm just going to be packing the bearing here. And probably the last thing I'll show you is just the final assembly with the bands. Nothing exciting, but that's pretty much it. Alright, I got this, what they call it, an adapter cone in around the shaft, and I'll have to warn you, it is a little tedious to get it on there, but be patient and just work those grooves, those fingers, until they kind of stagger each other and line up. So now what you want to do is you want to push it back slowly until it seats. There's a little groove, you can see that right there in the axle, that it's got to go over that groove right here. You can see it, that groove right where my thumbnail is. It's got to go over that, and then after that I can put the bands on. So let me do that and we can continue. It's recommended that you try to get that thing seated in there first. So you're gonna have to push it out, get it seated inside inside the small end first, and then push the whole collar back. So this is probably so far the hardest part of the job, getting that thing to seat in there. I'm just getting my thumb and fingers up at the top, pushing that thing down now. I don't know how perfect it has to be because I mean, it's designed to be universal. It's got little fingers up on there, but it really isn't playing very nice. I'll come back when I get it in there. Okay, I got the adapter in there. See, it's still sticking out just a little bit up top. But now I'm gonna put the bands on there and call it done. I don't know how much you can see, but if you just follow the directions in the box, it's pretty straightforward. The only caution I would say is don't try to make it too tight. Just make sure that this band is flat before you bend it back around. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay, I've got the screwdriver bent over, tucked underneath that hinge there. And what I'm going to do is get these needle nose and hopefully be able to pinch this closed, and then I'll go back and just tamp it down with a hammer or something. Alright, that's it. That's all she wrote. Got the top band on there. Here's right there, and got the bottom band. Get the focus in there. And it's good to go. Just give it a rotate there, make sure everything's in place. All right. Work that grease in there. No clicking. And I'll be happy if I get a couple of years out of it. So 18 bucks for the boots. Probably about 4 hours a side. Of course, the other side took me a little longer because of the learning curve, but you can do it. So thanks for hanging out with me. Have a good night. By the way, another good use for this molybdenum grease is to put on your either your lug nuts or on your these are studs, lug studs, and before you put them in the back in the tire or back in the hub. And what that does, it keeps them from locking up or corroding. Before anybody out there has a heart attack about greasing up lugs or lug nuts, I've been doing this. I did it for the whole 8 years I was in the Navy, and never had a tire fall off. So leave a comment if you want. I already know. Listen. Hear that? No clicking.